Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Muhammad Asim. I am working as DevOps engineer. Guys, in this video, I'm going to show you how we can set up the self-hosted monitoring solution. And for that, we are going to set up the InfluxDB version 2 along with the Telegraf. So let's begin. What I've done, I've spun up two machines on AWS, and in this particular machine, we are going to take a shell and set up the InfluxDB. So let's do that. And it is going to be in Docker containers. So what I've done, I've created a script for you guys. For instance, we are going to use Docker Compose. For that, I've created a script, Docker Compose.shell. So what we are going to do, first of all, we are going to simply clone this repo in this particular machine. And let's do that. So and simply I'm going to clone this guy. So do git clone and clone this repo, right? So what I'm going to do simply, first of all, what I'm going to do, I'm going to um, copy hyphen RV. First of all, I need to set up the Telegraf configuration file. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this telegraph.conf.shell. Sorry, this is telegraph.shell. I need to copy the telegraph.conf.shell. So let's do that. And make it executable, right? Chmod plus x and telegram dash conf. So I'm going to run it. So what this script do, it is going to create a one configuration file for us, right? Which is required by Docker Compose. So if I do ls, you see telegraph.conf file is created. Let me show you this file. So telegraph. So guys, this is our Telegraf conf file. I'm going to share the details regarding this file later, but this is the configuration file, right? I'm going to simply close this file. So quit, right? So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to simply copy our InfluxDB, and what we're going to do, simply copy the Docker compose.shell. So simply do that in your local directory, and if I do chmod plus x, right? So let's do that, make it executable and simply run the script. And what it does, it is going to pull three containers for us, and it is going to also create the Docker Compose YAML file, and it is going to um, create a small sort of project in the Docker Compose version 2 and make all the containers up shortly. So you see, it's pulling three containers. One is of Grafana, one is of InfluxDB, and another is of Telegraf. For Telegraf, we already provided the configuration file. So if I do Docker ps, you see three containers are running, right? So what I'm going to do, if I navigate back, and I'm going to simply update the security group and allow all traffic at my IP address, right? And we are going to access the port 8086 of InfluxDB. So now in the InfluxDB version 2, it has a built-in UI, so we can easily see all the stuff there, right? So I've allowed all the traffic, right? And what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy the public IP address and put it here and navigate to port 8086, right? And also I'm going to add one port which is of Grafana, right? So the username is Cloud Geeks, and password is this 1234567 8, right? So I've logged in. So if you click this and if you navigate to the sources section, right? In sources section, if you navigate to the buckets, we have set up the default bucket with name Telegraph. So if I click this guy, you will see some of the stuff regarding the disk and Docker and processes. So excuse me. So if I check the logs of Docker logs and Telegraph, you see, it is sending data to the InfluxDB, and InfluxDB, from InfluxDB we are going to see we are going to see this all data in the UI in Grafana. So by default, the password is username and password is admin. I'm going to skip it for now, and I'm going to add one data source, right? So if I navigate to the settings section and navigate to the data source and click this add data source, we are going to add InfluxDB, right? So from here, what I'm going to select the flux, right? And HTTP colon, I'm going to call this influx DB because in Docker internal networking is available, and later on I'm going to show you how we can access this node from I mean we can also add the other node as well. So basic auth is going to be unchecked, right? And the organization name I set up, let me show you from the UI. So I'm talking about all these steps. So if you check, this is the bucket, which is the default Telegraph. And as far as the organization is concerned, the organization name is Cloud Geeks, right? And the token we set up through the environment variable. This is the token, right? And you can definitely update according to your requirement. And default bucket. So simply I'm going to copy this guy, and Telegraph is the default bucket, which is, you can say, the name of the database, right? So simply I'm going to save it, test, and if everything goes well, what we will see that we should be able to see three buckets. So uh, it is unable to connect. So I need to check the container name. So InfluxDB, right? So simply copy this guy and let me, you see, I've done a little typo here. So what I've done now, I'm going to paste it and let's try to test it again. So you see, we data source is working and three buckets are found. So that is fine. So if you navigate to this section, dashboard, and we are going to import one dashboard, and you have to navigate back to my repo and simply navigate to this section where we are going to import this dashboard. So I've done little customization. I've added all the official links of these dashboards. So instead of making dashboard yourself, it will save your time. Simply paste it, press load. Simply select this source InfluxDB. You can change the name if you want according to your need, and simply import it, right? So you will see shortly all this stuff field. So simply navigate to the bucket section. Our default bucket is Telegraph. So you see all the cool dashboard, everything regarding according to your need, like CPU or RAM, disk usage, memory usage, uptime, swap space, CPU load, CPU per core. You will see every processes, number of processes, root disk usage, partitions, root disk inodes, um, all partition nodes, swap space, everything you can see. You simply have to do this, and everything is going to set up for you guys in a moment. So you guys might be wondering, you see, this is the IP address of this machine. uh, like if I navigate to this section, So navigate to the instance. You see, this is the private IP 172.31.75.222. So see, so how we can add the another node. So if I navigate to the Telegraph, what I've done, I've already installed the Docker in this particular machine. So simply what I need to do, I'm going to simply um, have to run the Telegraph dot shell. So let me do that, and later I'm going to explain stuff regarding these scripts. So it is very simple to set up all these via Docker. So for ease of use, I've added Docker script. So I'm going to simply, excuse me, clone this repo here, and I'm going to simply copy one of the script. So if I do copy RB from InfluxDB, Telegraph dot shell here, right? And I'm going to make it executable chmod plus x telegraph dot shell, but I'm not going to run it. So why I'm not going to run it? So I need to tell you one thing. I need to update the host name. So you see, previously I've provided the DNS name of the container in FluxDB, but now my host is located remotely. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply provide the IP address. So um, in security group, we have allowed the internal IP addresses. So simply what I'm going to do, I'm going to provide the private IP address of this InfluxDB to this guy. So what we are going to do, simply add this here and run it. I mean, save it and run it. So what this does, it is going to create the telegraph.conf, and it is going to pull the telegraph container in this particular machine, and it is going to send data to that particular InfluxDB. So let's do that. Okay, one mistake I've done regarding that. So let me remove this telegraph. So in settings, what I've done, so I need to create this network. So it is unable to find this particular network. Simply create it by copy pasting this command and simply run that particular script again. So that's it. So if I do docker ps, you see we don't have any complaints now. So if I do docker logs telegraph, and if I navigate back to this guy and simply refresh it, we should be able to see the second host in the same section. So you see, this is our bucket. If I click this guy, I will be shortly seeing the other machine, right? So I have to wait for a while till it sends the data. So till then, I'm going to pause the video. So guys, if you click this again after a few minutes, or I mean within 1 minute, you will see the other IP addresses of this machine, the other machine, which is this host Telegraph. I just calling this. So this is the IP address of this particular machine. So it is will automatically bring up, and if I click this guy, I will be able to see all the relevant stats, and shortly all the data is going to be available. So you see all the data with regard to that particular machine is coming up. So guys, that is and that how easy it is. You can spin up I mean your self-hosting monitoring solution through InfluxDB version 2 with Grafana. So let me share some of the stuff regarding the Docker Compose shell and Telegraph.conf shell. So as I told you, if you want to use Docker run, you can manually paste these commands. So it will use the Docker run command. So Docker Compose is quite a bit much easier. So it will bring all the containers up in no time. So, but you can use the Docker run command as well. So uh, this is the Grafana dashboard which we have imported, right? So okay, regarding the Docker Compose shell, let me tell you the stuff. So And this is the stuff I did the official documentation. You can see all these environment variables from their official documentation regarding the setup and the username and the password which I've entered. Everything is self-explanatory, and I'm going to simply update these variable here instead of updating everywhere. So simply I need to update these variable here. So here I'm going to also update the Docker socket permissions. If you want to make it persistent, I've already added this script. Simply run it in the machine. It will create a service, and after reboot, the permission will not change, right? So other than that, what we're going to create with this script is the Docker Compose YAML file. Instead of manually creating it, we are going to create it by, you see, providing this all environment variable, and this port is mounted on your host machine, right? Along with that, we are going to set up the Telegraf container, and we are going to mount these volumes, right? Root volumes. Along with that, the environment variables, right? It depends on InfluxDB. So definitely, if InfluxDB spins up, then in the Telegraf container is going to spin up, and in the last, we're going to simply spin up the Grafana container, and it is going to have this Grafana storage, and Influx storage is going to be stored here. So regarding the Influx DB storage, we have set up the retention period, and we have set up the retention period is of 1 week. So hopefully, guys, you have better understanding regarding this uh, video, right? If you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe the channel. And have a nice day. Thank you.